Okay, so now we're going to move on to our audience participants Q&A. So joining us today, or let's see, we already have, how about Adam, you are already on. We're going to be promoting our audience participants. And let's see. Okay. Okay, our audience participants are joining us, quite a few. Let's see. Okie dokie. So now I can see all of you now. Wonderful. So who wants to go first? I want to see some hands waving. Oh, there we go. Okay, Karen, you are on. Go for it.
Thanks, Anne. Everything was great. I'm just a little bit confused with the Vortex for my business, in the fact that Gina said you need 3 to 7 different vortexes coming in. So is it just my different, like I work with personal people and I also work with businesses. So are those 2 different pillars?
No.
Is that how it works?
No. So the Vortex is based on what you teach, the content.
Yep.
So whether you're working with businesses or corporations, what you teach is still the same. You know, again, with me, it's like get ready, get on the set, get paid. It doesn't make a difference whether I'm working with a corporation or an individual solopreneur, right? So it's about your program. And she said she doesn't want you to do more than 7 because it just, it gets apparently spins out of control. But I have found with, for me as well as for other people, 3 to 4 works really well. It's easier to manage. So because then you have to create all these individual programs and marketing around each one of them. So is that clarifying, answering your question?
Not really.
No. Okay. Well, go ahead. Let's try it again. I want to make sure you're clear.
Well, it's just like, obviously I have the 9 areas of life that I work on. So is it each of those areas, or I just chunk them in, like bring a couple into the areas? Because that's what my content's all based on.
Okay, the 9 areas of life. So you could potentially have 9 vortexes.
Okay.
Now, what I would recommend you do is you group them together. Which 3, like 2 or 3 of them together. So you're reducing it to maybe 3, 4 to 5 pillars.
That now clarifies it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, who else has a question? Okay, let's see now. Okay, Adrienne, okay, you are on.
Hello, Anne. My question comes around the money piece, because when I listen to James and Lynn, their programs are more designed around kind of tangible trainings that they have. The show I want to create is more like a talk show. So I'm having a tough time trying to figure out, I know eventually in the talk show, sponsorship is probably going to be my biggest form of revenue. But I don't know how to inquire in memberships, the 3 stages, all those kinds of pieces, when what I'm looking at doing is more kind of about coaching, but more in a talk show sense.
Okay, so it's really still the same. It all falls under this, in the same formula, if you will. Now, if you're going to be doing coaching, you're going to be coaching people on different aspects of their life, right? You're going to be, what are the groups of things that you're going to be coaching them on? Like, if I was to hire you, what would you be coaching me on?
Yeah, well, so it's, even though I am a life coach, the show is not really about coaching. I want it to be more like a talk show. As you know, my partner, she and I were going to do the talk show together, but her husband became ill. So now I'm trying to recreate just me and how I want that to look. And really what I want it to be kind of based in is people finding balance, how to go through grief, relationships, all the things that we all deal with on a daily basis. And just kind of a support place for people to come and ask questions, like a little bit of Dear Abby in there for those kinds of things, but then also bringing on experts in different areas of like how to deal with grief. I've been asking, the world to show me what people need to hear out there. And for some reason, I just see people going through a lot of grief and not knowing how to deal with it. So it's going to be coaching yet / more talk show style, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. No, it does. It does.
Okay.
So if we're talking about, let's see, just going through, you can't have a show just on grief alone, because people are going to come out of grief, right? So how are you going to get out of grief? You know, because quite frankly, if you just bring, all you're doing is bringing on people, they're talking about grief, it's going to be a very depressing show.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you're going to be bringing other experts into it. So one of the things that every challenge we have in life falls under 3 categories: money, health, and relationships, and one affects the other. So the experts you bring on, okay? So if somebody's going through grief, let's just look at the grief portion. If somebody's going through grief, what happens? They're depressed, and they're not really taking care of themselves. Their health suffers, and they're not really functioning full on, so their business suffers, or they're not showing up and doing well at work, so their job could be in jeopardy. So then they need to actually know how to reach out to get support from people in their life. So now we're tapping into relationships. So you see, just grief alone covers all three of them. So you can actually bring in experts that will help people. Well, how do you reach out to somebody? How do you ask for help when you don't know what to say?
Right.
Okay. Or how do you? So you see, you have already the 3 pillars: the money, health, and relationships. So if you want to do it like that, and by you interviewing people, you're creating content. Now, when you're conducting interviews, you're going to be doing, we've already gone through this, you bring an expert in, you're going to do an in-depth interview, then you're going to do a short interview. The in-depth interview goes in your members area, and pretty much every expert you bring on, they're going to give you something of value to give to your viewers. So that goes in your members area as well. So now your members area is going to be filled with great content and some great information, some great tools and resources that people will want. So you do have something that belongs within that pillar.
Okay. I guess I'm having a hard time trusting that people are going to pay for information like this versus kind of what Lynn has, like tangible, like a course, or like James has, that kind of thing. So.
Okay, well, let me give you a different outlook here. Okay, when my father became ill years ago, he had lung cancer. I looked all over. I started doing all kinds of research, and I paid for PDFs telling me the different things people can use and all that stuff. I spent all kinds of money doing research. If somebody told me here's a website where there's all this information, the great people that they interviewed on different aspects of it, how to care for it, how to care for yourself, how to do all this, how to show up, what questions to ask the doctor, oh my God, yes, I would have paid for it. The hours that I spent, and if I had found somebody who I trusted that was asking the right questions, doing due diligence, yeah, I would have been happily paying for it. And I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. That helps.
You're very welcome. Okay. So who's up next? Let me see. I got to go white again. Okay, Lynn, you're waving again. Okay, Lynn wants back in. Go for it.
I just wanted to add another piece to Adrienne's question, or the answer to her question. I loved your answer. There's another piece that you might want to consider, which is that the guests that you have coming on may have their own products or books and things that you would be able to allow them to offer to the audience, which would be a partial income coming to you as well, since that was your audience that you're allowing them to give that to. Programs, products, books, everything.
Okay.
Could
Yeah,
come
I
into
figured that. I just didn't know how to monetize my show specifically. So that's
And
where the question was. But yeah, thank you.
I think you're right, to sponsors. And some of your guests may want to be those sponsors. I think Anne has a piece in one of the segments that actually she talks about how you can make those guests into sponsors. As you're inviting them in, sell them sponsor spots, a 15-second commercial, or something like that.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Lynn, for that. That was, yeah, that's actually, by the way, everybody, you know, that was a great point. When people are giving you the gifts that go in your members area, the experts, they're going to go claim that gift through your affiliate link. So when they buy the products and services, they're going to be sending you money, okay? So, Lynn, thank you so much for bringing that up front, because I totally forgot to mention that. Which, no. So let's see now. Who is next? Do I have to pick? I will. I have to threaten you? Oh, there you go. Katie's stepping up. There we go, Katie. On you go.
Hi, Ann. I don't think I have so much of a question as just comments on this week. Between both of the lessons, both of the videos, and the Vortex, like, almost feels like to me like the Vortex model was almost made for Earthwalk. It clears up so much. It feels like it takes so much of a workload off. I'm on multiple teams within Earthwalk that are all or most are going to end up being a part of the show and part of how we monetize it. I was feeling very, very overwhelmed by that, but that model really like helped clear up a lot. And I can't wait to take that back to the team, the other team members and the founder. So I'm really, really excited about that. So where my mind is going to next is coming up with some ideas. Since we are heart-based, since we are an organization that wants to create world peace, really, and a lot of our teachings are spiritual teachings, I want to be able to reach people also who cannot necessarily afford our lower end programs, even much less the higher end programs. So I'm just kind of thinking about ideas about how to work in sponsorship along with that, and yeah, that's where my mind is going next. But so far, not so much a question. You explained all that really beautifully, and I'm really excited about how I can put that to use.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Katie. And by the way, your TV show is going to be supporting the people who can't afford to sign up for any of your programs. So you are going to be, all of us, by putting the TV show out there, we're never going to know how many lives we've touched, because it has a ripple effect. There are going to be so many people who are going to remember. I mean, at events, I've had people walk up to me. This is going back when I was doing teleseminars, like, and I have to thank you because that tip you gave was that I don't know who these people are, but somehow, some way they touched my life. It's just like other people have gone up to and said, oh my God, that one thing that you said. And actually I brought up Alex Mondosian. I want you guys to really listen how it's so important, the things we do. You know, I just share everything. I give, right? I'm just like, I don't know how to shut up, you know, when somebody asks a question. That's just me. But, you know, like years ago, when it was like the whole hard-hitting sales thing, now it's much more heart-centered. But going back 5-10 years ago, it was like, no, you got to give them a little bit of heart, you know. I was like, I don't know how to sell like that, you know? So when I listened to Alex Mondosian once, he actually gave a complete formula for something. Before he was, you give them a little bit, and if they want to know how to do it, they have to pay for it. But he actually gave a full training on how to do something from start to finish. I'm like, wait a minute, he's making millions of dollars and he teaches like me. So I actually literally walked up to him and said, you know what? I want to thank you for giving me permission to be myself. Because that's what it felt like. And because that I felt good about the way I was doing, I kept on going, fine-tuning, doing what I'm doing, not worrying about the money that's coming in right there, knowing that I'm making a bigger impact. And so as a result, this is what's happening now. As a result, the TV show is, all of this is happening because somebody 10 years ago gave me permission to be myself. That's the way it felt. He didn't give me permission to do anything. But, you know, I saw him doing and being in a way that I am and wanted to be. in how I deliver my information. So bottom line is that ripple effect is there. And because of what I learned from him, I don't know how many lives I have transformed, because people have walked up to me and said something similar, and I'm sure they have other people who have walked up to them. So the TV show, I want you to know, we are here to impact globally, you know, which we'll never know. The bigger impact, we will never know, but we don't need to know. We really don't need to know. We just know that it's there. So anyways, now let's move on to who else? Oh, Katie, were you done? I'm sorry. I just kind of just took it and ran with it. Okay.
Yeah, no, and I love your commentary back. That was great too.
Okay. So who? Oh, come on, people. Oh, there we go. Trish, I see a hand, waving hand. There we go. Oh, the brave step up.
Oh, well, you know, it's been probably a year since I've looked at the Vortex model. And I always found it confusing. But somehow in the past year, when I looked at it again, it made perfect sense. It was just like, oh yeah. And so maybe I was looking at it in a different context. And at this time, right now, as you well know, my focus is on creating the mechanism for the marketing and the getting the 600 leads, you know. So the Vortex came in at a very good time for me.
Okay, so no other comment? Nothing else going with it?
Probably, but I just came back from being in the sun all day.
Okay.
My
All
brains are a
right.
little
So,
fried.
no, that's great. That's great to know. Okay. Yeah, the vortex model, you know, it's like Trish said, once you get it, it's like, oh my God, well, why didn't I get it before? It's really that simple, you know, just dividing everything up. Wow, you know. So you'll see, once you start looking at your program, the different modules you have and what you teach in each module, and like, oh, these 3 modules go together, and this goes together, that goes together. Oh, there goes my pillar. Oh, now what am I teaching within the module? Oh, there's this bullet point and that point, and there's this aspect of it. So all of a sudden you see, like, from the core program, you divide it up into 2, 3, or 4 parts, groups, and then within that you take a look at the different lessons you're teaching. Then it's just like, that's all it is. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and open up here. It's going to actually make a lot more sense right now. Whoops, hold on. I need to do this first so you can see it full on. There we go. So with the Vortex model, this is the core, and this is the program where there's, let's say it has 1 or 2 components that, you know, you can actually turn it into paid. And then there's some of the stuff that goes on TV, and some of the stuff that goes on blog posts and social media stuff. It's just basically, it's the same thing. It's just once you have a core program, you know what you're teaching, you divide it up. And then you divide up what you divided up. That's all it is. So, okay. Thank you for that, Trish. Okay, let's see. Who else? Now we have Adam and where's Louise? Oh, there's Louise. There you go. But you ended up behind my camera, Louise. Hold on a second. Okay. You are on, Louise.
Hello, everybody. I love this. I just want to thank you so much, Anne, for making all of this available, because I'm able to see it again and again and again. I keep going back to the website, rewatching it. You know, it's so helpful to me. And today's program was very helpful, because as I'm listening to it, I'm thinking of all of the little pieces that I do, that I know I can contact people and interview them, and they will add content to my show, which I'm trying to get some people together to help me to do it, because I'm realizing I don't have the technical expertise that I need, but I hear what I do need. You know, when I go back and I see, it's so encouraging to me to see like Lynn, who seems to be miles ahead of everybody, and you know, people who are just struggling to get their parts together. I was thinking of who would ever pay, but I know that I work with people who are impoverished, and people are always giving money to that. You know, as soon as the word gets out and people see how I'm helping people, you know, I'm sure that that's going to be tapping into people's hearts. So that's what's going on for me today. I want to thank you for encouraging me, for seeing the potential, and for helping me to see the potential.
Oh, Louise, you are very welcome. What do you mean, who will pay? First, you know, those of you, I mean, you haven't seen Louise before, I met Louise at a time where I needed so much help. I went from being a corporate executive to a stay-at-home mom to a brand new baby in a whole new, we moved out into the suburbs, and I was out of my element totally. So now, I mean, literally, I was having, you know, like having a tough time figuring out. It was like, and I saw at the local church that there was a mother's group kind of thing. It was some kind of a training. I forget the actual name of it. I bet you
Parenting.
Parenting, yeah. And I have this little baby at home. I don't, you know, I'm like, and I don't know what to do. So I went to it. It was so good. What she was teaching was so good. I, along with 2 other mothers, started a mother spiritual support group that served me at the time. I mean, literally, I was sitting there like, oh my God, I'd snap my fingers, 2,000 people would jump, and I can't get her to sit down, you know. So, and the moms are like, oh, there, it's okay. So what I'm saying is that while I was, you know, doing great in one aspect of my life, I was struggling with another one because it was new to me. Mm-hmm. And being a mom was like the most important thing in the world. And I turned out to be a great mom, but I needed people to tell me what to do. I needed to be around people who understood me. And so being in that loving environment, and I know that right now, Louise, you're doing the Love and Lunch. And so yes, that's one of the programs that people will actually, you know, for people who need help, you know, if they get together, yeah, mothers get together, needy mothers. And also the other thing that she started doing, because she noticed that there were some young ladies who were struggling to actually go to prom because they couldn't afford their prom dresses. So she actually started collecting prom dresses, and, you know, from, you know, bridal boutiques and things like that had returns, leftovers. So now you have to tell the rest of it. But now when prom time comes, all these young ladies can go and get a beautiful dress that they can wear and look absolutely fabulous when they go to a prom. Who wouldn't donate to that? We can actually get a campaign going across country. All of them, you know, weddings that are canceled, that, you know, they're not able to use the, you know, all that stuff, or prom dresses that, you know, nobody will use again. They can donate. So it's not, you know, and they also do all kinds of fundraisers with the high tea, where you get, you know, they have silent auctions and all kinds of prizes and things like that. So those are things that are very monetizable because they serve, and we can raise a lot of money. And the other thing about it too, Louise, is that you not only you're serving your community, you're going global, you know, just like the hospital or the village that you're supporting in Africa, in Uganda. So, you know, you have so much content, so many things. So all we need to do is once we create the overall mechanism, then we just need to put a camera in people's hands and have somebody record what's happening at Love and Lunch, or the young ladies that are going to prom, you know, how they're choosing the dress, and do like a makeover show where you can have all kinds of makeup artists and hairstylists and image consultants volunteer to come, you know, for a full day or a full week or a month or whatever, is different one every day, to dress these beautiful young ladies. And, you know, you could probably get some tuxedos donated for the young men who need to take these young ladies to the prom. Yeah, so there's all kinds of things you can do. All of that could be documented and turned into a TV show. And I know that all of us would love to be able to support with that. And I know I would. And I am actually and I'm proud to say I decided to become a board member, you know, for the Mary and Elizabeth Center. And I have to find the time to show up as I know I should. So
Thank you, Ann.
you're welcome. You're very welcome. So let's see now, Adam, you are it. You're on.
I'm on.
You are on. Yes.
That was very interesting. Listening to what Louise was doing. That was touching the heart there. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she's an amazing, amazing woman. Very, very blessed to have known her and have her in my life. Definitely, she helped me so much. So wonderful.
Well, I do have a question. I mean, as you understand, what I'm doing does not have a high-end product. I'm having my own television show so I can generate leads. I don't have a product or a service as such. So the model I'm looking at for the Vortex is creating some creativity in my mind. So thank you for that, for one thing. The leads I'm trying to generate are to go into 3 silos or 3 funnels, which is solve people's foreclosure problems, or buy their house, or take a trainee to a different level. So I'm still, well, I'll be playing with this thought and this idea overnight, I'm sure, and putting something together to be able to monetize further off that. I do like the guests aspect for the products and services, and even what was mentioned about the sponsors having 15-second commercials. I see that as quite viable, and I have those people already pegged in my mind. I think the question that I do have is how can I monetize my show other than via leads?
Okay, so that's actually pretty easy based on what I saw you do the other day, where you literally described the process that people go through from knowing they're having a challenge with their mortgage all the way to foreclosure. There are quite a few steps in between. So that alone is a training program for you. Okay, that, you know, you can actually, if you walk a few people through the process that are in different stages, let's say find somebody in each one of the different stages and walk them through the process, you can actually turn that into a reality TV show. Mm-hmm. So that's one, and you can turn that into your program, and people will pay to be able to do that. One of the challenges that we have is our finances are very personal, or we're not very forthcoming to actually share with others. And so having a program that will say, hey, you know, these are the 10 stages from knowing, you know, you could be having a challenge with your mortgage, whether you know that your business is not doing well, or you could be losing your job because the company is downsizing. You know, something is happening pretty soon. You better figure out how you're going to pay your mortgage, all the way to, hey, they're coming to throw you out of your house now. What are the different stages and how to recognize what those are? You can actually do a training on that, and people will pay for it. You know, they just go, it's a private thing, you know, learning from you. And based on what you're teaching them, they will contact you then to work with them one-on-one.
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it's a conflict of interest for what I'm also selling, which is education programs for another business.
Well, there must be a way where you can collaborate and put them together without getting into a lot of detail on it right now. We're happy to have a separate conversation with you on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and unless there is a legal reason why you can't do that, I don't see a conflict of interest. I see collaboration. Where and how do they fit in?
By even saying that aloud, the people I want to go to that next level with the training organisation, there's a filtering process through that, and some will because of the price is accessible, and some won't. So I might as well take the advantage of the lower hanging fruit.
Yours would be the lower hanging fruit?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So, and by the way,
but having more numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing about this is that your TV show is going to be the solution to people's problems. The experts you bring on are going to be the solutions to people's problems. So I don't see where you're going to be having a major conflict. But again, we can have another conversation.
Yeah, maybe it's a membership thing I can put together.
Yeah, the membership thing definitely. And as far as the high-end ticket, the high-end ticket could be, you know, just a one-on-one time that you spend with people, helping them avoid foreclosure. Depending on if somebody has a multi-million-dollar house that they're going to be losing, that's worth a lot of money to them.
Yes, it is. I'm not comfortable with charging people for my knowledge and experience of cross foreclosure yet. I think that's a market that is heavily occupied by.
No. You're missing the point. Hold on a second. Okay, this is really, really important, everybody. This applies to all of you. Having somebody that we trust to do right by us is very, very valuable. Okay, so you are not charging people to avoid anything. You are there to support them, to help them keep their home. It's not a house, it's a home. When somebody has a home, there's all kinds of dreams tied into it, all kinds of stuff tied into it. So you are doing, you can't put a price tag on that. Finding somebody who understands, finding somebody who's going to support us, whether it's just, you know, whether it's the real estate, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a personal health issue, whether it's just other finances. This is finding somebody that we can actually trust and feel like they have our best interest at heart at a time when we're struggling, when we can't think clearly. It's priceless. And being in a position where they're going to be losing their home, it's a very stressful time. People are confused and afraid. Make sense?
Yes, and I will look at it another way.
Okay. Just let it sit there. Let it sit there. Be the guy that's rescuing. Remember, you want to know you're the one who comes to the rescue.
Yeah.
So that's who you are. That is the person you are. And that's what's most valuable. It's not how the paperwork, it's not all the rest of the stuff. It's that you care and the knowledge you have where people will be able to trust you. And because they trust you, you're going to be able to walk them through the whole process.
Can I also add something to that? In that, you know, there sounds like there's a great teaching space there, Adam, as well as people who complete and are grateful for what you've helped them to do. Those kind of testimonials, those sell things, those sell services. So being able to get some of the people that you've worked with to do the video testimonials and you use them as part, you know, in between different pieces of your training, that's what gets people to say, I trust him, I want to do my work with him, and that's when they come and buy from you.
Yes, I agree. It's a very difficult situation for people to do a testimonial because they're very, very embarrassed about their situation financially. But I've not stopped asking people. One, I will get someone.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Excuse me. If you keep asking, you will find. I mean, think of all the reality TV shows that people are more than happy to get out there and make a fool of themselves. I mean, they share the most intimate stuff, the most embarrassing stuff. So there are people out there who will do this. You just haven't, maybe when you're doing your show, you start bringing in people, you can say, hey, if you would like us to work one-on-one with you to solve your problems at no cost to you, you know, to be part of the show, let us know. Have a bunch of people, you know, at the same time submit to be on the show and to be mentored by you. People will do anything to keep their home. And some of them actually love the idea of being on a TV show.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so that's the easy part. You know, getting people is the easy part.
So that other people will step up and get their help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great idea. Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. Who else is there? My apologies. I seem to have gotten a little bit of coughing thing going on too. And let's see. I think that's it. We have, yeah, everybody's been on. So is anybody else that has a question or a comment that you want to revisit? No? Okay. All right then. So what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap it up. Okay. Well, thanks for joining, everybody. I'm Ann DeVere. This has been the Q&A segment with audience participants of Turn Your Show into Cash episode. This was episode 5, all about the business growth calculator and the Vortex model. So next week, we're going to be talking about the co-op marketing and how you can actually start using the Vortex model, if you will, within your co-op marketing mechanism and how to approach people. Okay, so until then, make it an amazing week. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye.